There are potential spoilers in this video. I'm not really an MMO person. In fact, I told myself a multitude of times that I would never pick up an MMO, as it just wasn't my cup of tea. I do understand that it's a niche category of games that some people enjoy, but it just wasn't for me and I never thought it would be for me. But I was wrong. There is no punchline. Final Fantasy in particular was one of those long, drawn-out series of games I'd see where I frequently told myself I wouldn't take the time out of my life to dive into them, and for very good reason. They've made a few titles. So when a random friend put a gun to my head and said that there was a free trial, I bit my tongue and decided, f*** it, why not?
Hey, you. You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right? You walked right into that Imperial ambush.
In order to play Final Fantasy XIV, I had to first sign up for an account on this interesting Japanese website interface. This step is mandatory. After that, I waited for the game to download for a short span of at least 14 hours. There is no way to speed up this process. You can trust me when I say I tried everything. Eventually, I managed to log in and make a dragon girl named Vienna.
He tried it.
That was an honest joke. I actually really like this character. Anyways, with that out of the way, it was finally time to dive headfirst into the world of Final Fantasy XIV. Now, as some of you might know, this is a role-playing game, which means you have to choose one ethnicity, one religion, and one class. Did I mention you can only pick one of each? Yeah, I know it's a hard concept to grasp. I actually made the intelligent decision of doing my homework on each class, job, and role in Final Fantasy XIV. I found out that you can actually play all of them. No, I mean you can switch between them whenever you want. All you gotta do is press a button. Gee, if only I could get rid of my house arrest that fast. For my first class, I decided to do a service to my country and delve into thaumaturgy, which is a form of magic that harnesses the power of nuclear energy in order to commit war crimes, at the cost of having to wait 8 years for the bomb to be built. This class in particular perfectly sets you up for a spectacular game of chicken between you and your enemy. Whose dick is larger, your flare cast time, or your enemy's 5-second instant kill AoE?
No! I don't want to die!
The key to being a funny thaumaturge is to commit, no matter the circumstances. Oops, shit. Ah, geez, guys, I hope I can pull off flare before this ape sits on me. I ended up picking this class because it was a prerequisite for a job called Black Mage. The Black Mage job is a North Korean dictator's wet dream gone batshit. This job is a blast. Unironically, my new favorite activity in Final Fantasy XIV is setting small forest fires and endangering the local wildlife of Eorzea. Speaking of Eorzea, this game has a place, and like most places, this place has a story. Which means this game has more than enough content for me to make an 11-minute unsponsored video out of. Final Fantasy XIV is a game that takes place in Eorzea, but more specifically, Vienna's story takes place in Ul'dah. Ul'dah is a lawless anarchical kingdom run by midget people with little to no ethical business practices, located in the midst of a bumfuck nowhere. And it was here that I decided to go to the Adventurers Guild and become an adventurer. Hi, I'd like to sign up to become an adventurer.
Sorry, kid. Position's filled. However, some listings just opened up at the local Pizza Hut if you're interested.
Oh, shit. Reluctantly, I decided to deliver pizzas to the local guards for at least 2 weeks.
Fucking delicious.
Additionally, I made the intelligent decision to kill God and save the princess. Don't ask me how I did that. You, won't want to know. Good job, Vienna, said the syndicate. Thanks. Who are you again? Come have dinner with us. Alright, but just a bite. I hope you like roofies, Vienna. What the f*** is a roofie? When I woke up, I was strapped to a chair and a poorly voice-acted blonde woman was interrogating me about numbers or some shit.
Good morning.
Anyways, all jokes aside for a moment, Final Fantasy XIV is a good game, and if I continued to crow on about it any longer, I'd probably hit spoiler territory. I mean, A Realm Reborn is a story. To put it lightly, it's trying its best by being laughably enjoyable, kind of like a ventriloquist's comedy show. However, my liking to this game doesn't stem so much from its story as it does from its community. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the safari ride that is Final Fantasy XIV's immaculate community, and the extensive extracurricular activities players blackmail you into partaking in. If I fall, I turn into a soggy dog. Oh dear, so far, so good. Yeah, I have. There's no way I'm gonna fall. There's no. Spoiler alert, this is the part of this game that makes me wonder, how did I get here? The answer ultimately always ends up as, I don't know. What's up everyone, my name is Mogi, and today we are playing Mahjong in Final Fantasy XIV. I have no clue what I'm doing, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Welcome to the Golden Saucer. For those of you who couldn't tell, this is a casino. There's no possible way this could turn into an addiction. What is up everyone, my name is Mogi, and today we are getting addicted to bird race. As you might have guessed, there's a lot to do in this game. So much to do that I'd rather not cover all of it. But Mogi, isn't this section supposed to be about the community? Yes it is. I was getting there. The reason I mention the Gold Saucer is because it is one of the places where I meet most of my friends in this game. Obviously, there are other places too, but too many to mention. Regardless of whether you wanted to or not, you will find friends in this game. It doesn't really matter where you are or what you are doing. And there is a lot to do, trust me. You will meet people and form bonds. Thankfully, that's half the fun. I'm having a fucking blast. The other half is buying a house, which is a very easy 3-step process, but only if you have insomnia. In order to purchase a home anywhere, you have to first be drafted by the local military and become the very minimum rank of lieutenant. Now that you've spent at least 4 years doing that, congratulations, you can now buy a home. Time to pack up and move out of. Alright, I got the money. It's time to buy a house. After extensive searching and dumpster diving, I found out that there were no homes available. Why didn't I check for this before I started getting all this money? I think I'm better off just sleeping in my in-room tonight.
Look, Pim, I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. He's obviously made up his mind. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
Running dungeons and making poor financial decisions isn't the only activity in this game. As you could imagine, based on the scenarios I get myself into, there is a lot of role-playing in this game. No, not that kind. I mean this kind. This is what you call a nightclub. It's a bunch of people getting together on a Saturday to have a good time, listening to a live DJ, and just having a fun night in general. There is nothing malicious about it, I swear. And honestly, during semi-post-Bovid, I don't see any harm in this whatsoever. For those of you who don't know me very well, I actually DJ at a club. Crazy, right? Check me out live. Aside from all of this, I think what I like most about Final Fantasy XIV is that the community isn't toxic. No doubt you may run into a few toxic individuals from time to time, but this community and the devs don't like toxicity. And they even have an FAQ on what is considered toxic in-game. Not to mention the strides they take to uphold this FAQ. By now you might have asked yourself, what are the results of the actions these devs are taking for their community? Well, here's your answer. Everyone I've ever met in this game is a nice person. I've never met someone in this game I didn't like. And I am being dead serious when I say that. And now for the real question, why should you play this game? Final Fantasy XIV is not a game. Instead, I like to think of it more of like a glorified midlife crisis. This was a title that took me a long time to resonate with. Playing a video game and just enjoying it at my age feels more like a chore than a unique experience. Perhaps it's not about age, rather it's about interest or intrigue. When I was a kid, I used to be intrigued with games, but as I grew up, I realized how lazy some of them are made today. Final Fantasy XIV is a game that has real, genuine effort put into it, where real people came together to create something special. Before I picked up this game, I could never ever play a game for more than like 2 hours sometimes. Sometimes I'd put 10 hours into a game and just never ever touch it again. So the fact that I've almost hit 1,000 hours in Final Fantasy XIV is insane. Like, I don't even know how to say it. The game doesn't bore me when I play it. I feel like I'm having the time of my life every time I pick up this game. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I think the biggest thing that I love about this game is nothing's mandatory. The game isn't forcing you to do a specific action at a specific time, telling you, hey, grind this. I've never felt happier having something to do that helps me relax. This might be the first game that reminded me of the wonders of enjoying a video game as a child. Additionally, I think it's made me a more tolerant person. That's a feat most games don't come close to. This was a life-changing and head-turning experience, and I'm glad I took part in it. And if you haven't taken part in it yet, I would absolutely recommend it to you. Have an amazing day, and subscribe. Also, if you want to get updates on when I'm doing things, Twitter is great for that. Also, follow me on Twitch. Holy shit, it's a fucking chopper. Oh my god.